the music box of destiny at Ponte Rosso. The salty wind of the Adriatic Sea blew across the Molo Audace, a long stone pier that stretched into the blue water of Trieste. Amy sat on the edge, her hands shaking slightly as she touched the large gold bow on top of the mysterious matte black box. Julian sat right next to her, his eyes wide with curiosity. "Finally," he whispered, his voice full of excitement, "let's see what is inside." Amy took a deep breath and pulled the silk ribbon, letting it fall onto the gray stones like a sleeping snake. With a soft click, the lid of the box popped open. Both Amy and Julian were so impatient that they leaned forward at the exact same time to look inside. Neither of them realized how close they were until, thud, their foreheads collided with a loud, hollow sound. "Ouch!" Amy cried out, stumbling backward and rubbing her head with a dizzy smile. Julian winced, clutching his brow, but he couldn't help laughing at how clumsy they both were. For a moment, they forgot the box was supposed to be empty. Julian recovered first and looked back into the box. He noticed that the velvet lining at the bottom felt a bit strange. While Amy was still blinking away the stars from the collision, Julian ran his fingers along the inner corner. He found a tiny, hidden lever. With a firm press, a secret door at the bottom of the box clicked open. "Amy, look!" he shouted. Under the false bottom, a metallic object glittered in the bright Italian sunlight. Amy reached into the compartment and pulled out a heavy, antique music box made of bronze. It was beautiful and covered in detailed carvings of flowers and stars. At the center of the square base stood a small, elegant globe of the world. Amy held it carefully, feeling the cold metal against her palms. "It feels so old," she whispered, her clumsiness replaced by a sense of wonder as she studied the tiny etched continents on the globe. Amy found a small golden key tucked into the base. She turned it slowly, hearing the rhythmic clicks of the spring winding up. Suddenly, a sweet, melancholic melody began to play, echoing across the pier. As the music filled the air, the little bronze globe began to spin. Julian leaned in, mesmerized by the way the light danced on the rotating world. It was as if the music box was waking up after a very long sleep. The moment of magic was broken when Julian suddenly looked over his shoulder. He felt a strange chill that had nothing to do with the wind. A few people walking along the shore had stopped and were staring at them with intense, cold expressions. "Amy, stop the music," Julian whispered urgently. He grabbed her arm, his eyes darting around the pier. "People are watching us. We aren't safe here in the open." Amy didn't argue. She quickly stuffed the music box back into its container. Julian pulled her toward the city, and they began to run. They dashed across the massive, open space of Piazza Unita d'Italia, their footsteps loud on the stone pavement. Amy struggled to keep her balance as she ran, clutching the box to her chest. They headed for the narrow streets, hoping to lose whoever was following them in the afternoon crowd. They finally reached the Canale Grande at Piazza Ponte Rosso. The red and yellow buildings were beautiful, but Amy was too tired to notice. In her haste to reach the bridge, her foot caught on an uneven cobblestone. She gasped as she lurched forward, her arms waving wildly in the air. For a terrifying second, it looked like she was going to tumble right into the green water of the canal. At the last moment, Amy grabbed the green iron railing of the bridge. She stayed there for a second, catching her breath right next to the bronze statue of James Joyce. Julian hurried to her side, helping her stand up straight. "That was close," he panted. Amy laughed nervously, her face flushed from the run and the near fall. She checked the box to make sure the music box was still safe. As they looked down into the water, Julian noticed something strange. The lid of the box had opened during the stumble. A tiny red gem on the bronze globe was now glowing with a pulsing light, pointing exactly at the city of Trieste. "Look!" Julian pointed toward the canal. Deep in the green water, a large, dark shadow was moving silently beneath them. There were no boats nearby, Yet the shadow followed the rhythm of the pulsing red gem.